Hey guys, my name is Peter. Welcome back. Today I'm going to go and challenge ChatGPT. I've got something that I've been working on and I have a little piece of code that I would like to do, and I've decided to see what ChatGPT can do. What we're going to do is jump in with Xcode and see if ChatGPT is all that it's made out to be. Let's go. So we're going to jump into Xcode and we're going to create a new playground. What I want to do is we'll just create blank playground, jump in, put it into, just check it in here. For, let's see, experiments, just jump in here and create one. New playground. Let's move that over here. We've got ChatGPT on the right and we have our playground here on the left. So what we're going to start with is we're going to ask ChatGPT to create something for us. What we want to do is in Swift combine, I want to create, basically what I want to do is I want to create a list of structures, but I only want to update the list publisher with the data that comes through when the size of the list changes. So basically, the problem at the moment is that I have a list in Swift UI, a list of data structures that gets updated, and it updates the entire view every time something within that list changes. So what we want to do is challenge ChatGPT to see if it can create an update only for if the size of the list changes. So in Swift combine, I want to filter updates only when a list of the item size changes, or the list item changes size. Okay, let's go. See what it comes up with. Okay, so to filter update in Swift combine only when the size of a list of items changes, you can use the scan operator. Okay, great. We have the scan operator. Okay, we see what it's doing here. Return previous list, new list. Okay, so we're going to ask Swift, we're going to ask in ChatGPT, so in Swift combine, how do I filter updates only when the list of items changes size? Okay, so what we're going to ask, we're gonna in Swift combine, how do I update? So this is really weird. So I actually did this previously and it came up with an erroneous solution. Here it is. It's saying you can use scan operator to keep track of the previous number of items in the list. So I was a bit confused here. So I've got a new version and now it's using this, which is distinct until changed operator, right? So we have a distinct until changed operator, which is different. And also in the previous one here, it actually created what I believe would be the right answer. We have the item list previous list, new list. So we only want to update when the list of the new list count size is new. Now it came up with this interesting pass-through subject. So this is actually looking at this original response. So I did this previously. So bit of a heads up, I did this previously before starting the video, and I wanted to get it to reproduce this, which it didn't. So it created an code that was more like this, which was using the passive subject, which is the best solution for an updated list. Now you can do a sync here. So essentially, when we want to, so we have a list. If we have a UI view, we'd want to do an assignment, but really, essentially, this is the best outcome. But looking at this, I have no idea why I got this. Let's just copy and paste this here. This actually won't work. That's why I wanted to go through this piece of code. When I tried to run this playground, it would not work. It would come up with an error saying you can't actually identify this particular type. Let's import combine here. All right. Now this is what it comes up with, which is a type of expression. So we can actually mention it here. We in this code get the error. Let's see, type of expression is ambiguous without more context, right? So we've got that. So it says it apologizes for the error, right? And here we go. It returns this kind of same code. It's pretty much the same code, but if you look at it, changes this here, previous count, and it doesn't make sense because it's actually completely wrong. It doesn't get it right at all. Firstly, this code won't compile, right? So you see it doesn't compile. The other thing is that this is actually incorrect. The current count passes here as the current count. The correct solution would be, say we've got this previous count. Let's see, so the correct solution would be the previous, which would be the previous tuple, and this is the current list, right? So this is the other thing, it's got the current, that count, which it puts in here. Okay, so we want the previous count. So we want previous, the current count, previous count, previous here, and previous count, and we want current count. So right, so we have this as the update check. We don't need this, and in the filter, yep, previous count, current count here. Just say let's just comment this out for now, right? Let's move this, and we just want to filter. Still, again, it's expression is ambiguous. Let's comment that out. And here, what do we have? What kind of type does it even? Yeah, okay, so it's a pass-through subject list, so we know what it is. So if we do filter, we actually get a tuple, right? So we want an easier way to do this would be we have previous, and then we have just an in, and then we have current list, which is actually a list of any. So first things first is this is wrong in previous current. We don't return two tuples, and I'm not sure why this would assume that it returns two tuples. brackets wrong, not braces, but brackets. Okay, so we actually return that in a tuple. And then here we can just go previous equal to current list dot count. And that works. So if we look here, this is completely invalid. This second solution which it came up with is much better. We can copy and paste. This will actually be correct. Let's comment this out, but we'll delete this. We'll put this in here. Item list. We'll call it in. Right, so this is a far better solution instead of using scan like this. It has the tuple. You just have an array, previous list, new list. The only thing in this situation is it's going to constantly send us a list, right? So the updated list will only be made if its size has changed, right? But it's still returning new and previous. So let's see what happens here, right? So if we go item list, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it isn't going to work at all. So we've got a list of hints, right? So we've got pen 10, 10, 10, right? So we want to print updated list only if the size changes. So here we should get only one update because we start off with an empty list, then we append it. So let's see what happens. Let's open this up a bit. Wait for it to compile. Okay, so that's done. And let's have a look at the output. 10, 10, 10 looks safe. Item list append. Oh, we ran it. I didn't actually get to here, which is interesting. If previous list counts, new list count, previous list, new list. What if we print here in the scan, print new previous list, prev, and new new list. So what does that do? All right, so it didn't seem to run anything at all. Let's try that. I didn't see any print statements in the playground. All right, let's try run that again. Let's run it. So let's run it to here. Again, I'm not seeing any output at all. And the sync makes no sense, to be honest. I'm not sure whether combine just doesn't work with playgrounds. No, it does. It received a subscription. Item list. Pass through subject. We append. Items. Oh, actually, my mistake. We're not meant to append, we're meant to send. Let's try that again. Okay, so we do send. Okay, we received new pref. Okay, we received the value there. Let's see, let's print it. We'll print. Got it. Got an update, right? So we'll. All right, let's have a look how this works. Update here. Okay, we got that. Now we should look. In theory, we should not be printing anything at this point. We should not get a got. Let's see what happens. We should not get two gots. All right. Got the old list, but we're still getting the update, right? So that's actually not correct. That isn't right at all. So let's look at the filtering, right? So this is also incorrect. So a filter updates only when the list of size changes. So this does a scan, but we still get the updated list. We don't want to get the list updated at all, right? So let's jump back to the previous version, right? Let's delete this, which is obviously not working. So we have the list publisher here. Look, so filtered list publisher, we'll cut that out. Okay, right? So we want to filter and then we want to sync. Wait, we don't need to worry about the filter, we'll just sync it. And actually, no, we'll map what the output is to, we'll just get the current list because we know that we have a tuple here. We'll just get one. Normally what I would do here is I would actually be a bit more verbose, but I'll just put a comment here that says that we're choosing current list. And we sync the list here, current list here, right? So we've got print, got list. All right, so this is the solution that I adapted from the original one, and this is what I believe would be the correct one. So even though I initially thought the previous version here, where we had the simple scan with the new list and old list, after looking closer at it, it's not right. It's incorrect. It comes up with the incorrect answer, and it's because it just keeps pushing through the list itself. So we don't want to push through the list every time. We only want to push the list through when the size changes, right? So let's give this a go. List publisher.send. Here we go. We've got array 10, 10, 10, right? So like this, we've got 10, 10, 1. So we only should get one got in this particular case. So let's see what happens. I'll stop that. This is correct. You know, we get to here 2 times. We get to here once. But this. Now, if I go and add 1, 1, we'll get the update. Let's try that, run that again. There we go. Got. So, conclusion. You can be led down the garden path with this stuff, and if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not experienced in the language, then you're going to end up in a bit of either a dead end or you're going to go around in circles. And I don't really see this as, I mean, it was useful in the sense that it gave me some ideas about where the best way to approach the problem. Would it be better than going to Stack Overflow? Would I get, or if I look through one of the books that I've got? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on this particular issue, on something that is, in terms of software engineering, it's a pretty much niche application. You're not going to get many people who in general understand this stuff. In iOS, it's iOS developed, like there's iOS development, there's UI kit, which is a large part. You have Swift UI, which uses Combine, but then you have these detailed parts of Swift UI and Combine that are more complex. And I think this is where you're not going to get a natural language processor that's going to be up to date, not unless it gets fed information from the actual language developers every single time that there's an update. So for instance, some of this stuff that's coming from ChatGPT may be as a result of the information that's fed to it from a previous version of the Combine API that it might think, it might actually come up with errors. Maybe that's why maybe that's why this one comes up with an error. Because it could be referencing, I mean, let's ask it, right? So, which Swift version did you base this on? We'll give that 5 and above, right? You use the command framework which was introduced. Sure. So no, again, it's wrong. So it I don't know what to say. I mean, it gave like a possible direction to work with, but yeah. All right. Okay. So guys, that's it. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed this dig into a bit deeper with ChatGPT on for iOS software development, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.